What makes for a responsible creative collaboration? In order to avoid misappropriation, everything we were just talking about, it is necessary to engage in creative collaborations with Indigenous partners that go beyond cultural advising and do much more than merely asking for advice from an Indigenous person. Adhering to the following core principles can help ensure that you are engaging with Indigenous partners in a respectful and responsible manner. In other words, how can we not culturally appropriate, but truly gain inspiration and work together with other groups of people, especially Indigenous cultures? Free, prior, and informed consent. When initiating a collaboration, present your goals clearly. Make sure that those giving consent do so freely without feeling pressured and with full understanding of the consequences. Ensure that they are truly in a position to make decisions and are recognized in their community as having the necessary knowledge and authority on the matter at hand. In other words, talking to someone who is the right person within that group or culture to talk to and getting their permission to do what you want to do, to use what you want to use as inspiration, and making sure that you're not forcing their permission or pressuring it, and making sure that they are truly the person within that group of people who can give you permission. Shared control over process and product. Build a relationship in which your partners are comfortable with how much input and control they have over the goals, approach, and final outcomes. Recognize that, due to others' appropriative behaviors in the past, you may have to work long and hard to build a trusting and balanced relationship. In other words, make sure that you're working with that group of people, that you're not just taking from them, and that you are creating an actual partnership. Acknowledgement and attribution. Make sure you identify those you work with and describe the nature of your collaboration clearly to your consumers. Even the most responsible collaboration can seem suspicious if its nature is not communicated clearly. Using ambiguous wording that misrepresents practices in order to avoid negative attention is a sure way to breach consumer trust and can even constitute false advertising under the law. In other words, once you have that partnership established and you know that you're allowed to use the parts of the other culture that you'd like to, and you've worked with people within that other culture, you also are telling other people about that partnership and you're giving credit to the other group of people that were involved. Respect for cultural differences. Take into consideration that the worldview and experiences of the people whose cultural heritage inspires you may differ from yours. Ensure that your approach isn't at odds with, or worse, threatening to their values and practices, and take steps to adapt your process and objectives accordingly. Understand that different groups of people are going to be different. So if you're working with a group of people from a different culture, you need to be willing to acknowledge that the way they look at the world is going to be different than the way that you look at the world. Reciprocity and benefit sharing. Work with your partners to find an appropriate balance between what you are receiving and what you are giving in the exchange. This includes negotiating monetary compensation for all parties involved, as well as discussing and sharing other benefits that may come out of the collaboration. That one's pretty self-explanatory. Make sure everyone's getting an equal part so that you're not taking all the credit, all the money, all the benefits, because you worked with another group of people. You wouldn't have been able to do what you did without that original group of people. So making sure that they also receive some benefits. We will pick up here in the next video.